The internet seems to be pretty split on this new Omega Railmaster. Some love it, some not so much. In today's video, I'm going hands-on with this controversial model to give you the real story. And spoiler, it might be better than the online chatter might suggest. The Swatch comes in a stainless steel case, 38mm diameter by about 45mm lug-to-lug distance. The lug opening is 19mm and it's about 12.36mm in case height. If those dimensions sound familiar to you, that's because they're exactly the same dimensions as the 38mm Aquaterra, and that's one of the negative points that a lot of people bring up with this watch. It is essentially in the same case as the Aquaterra, so why is this a whole new model? Now, there are some differences between the two models, like for instance, the Aquaterra comes in all polished case. The Railmaster comes with the alternation of satin and high polish finishes, which I think makes the watch look more sporty than the dressier appearance of the Aquaterra. And here I want to take a couple of minutes and talk about the similarities between Aquaterra and this new Railmaster. When I first heard about this release, I was quite excited, but then I heard that it's exactly the same case as the Aquaterra. My excitement went down, and I even talked about that in my weekly watch updates. But now the more I think about it, the more I come back to liking this model, because if the Aquaterra didn't exist, this would have been everything that we were asking for. Smaller case, smooth bracelet, 150 meters of water resistance, that iconic dial, and a fairly decent price. Now, because Aquaterra also exists, now we're looking at the Swatch through that lens, which I think kind of muddies the water. One thing to note, this watch is quite a bit cheaper than the Aquaterra. There are two different versions of this watch available, but the Central Seconds hand on the bracelet in Canadian dollars is about $1,600 less than equivalent Aquaterra, so that's pretty good savings. It's over $1,000 US, which is sort of rare in today's watch industry. Usually watch companies keep on raising prices for every new model. Here, Omega showed some restraint. Now, it's not all fine and dandy for Omega. I'm not gonna spend this whole video defending them. I just wanted to mention that my feelings towards this model have sort of gone up and down, but now I seem to appreciate it more after spending some time with it. The Railmaster is known to be the third sort of sports model in the Omega's lineup after the Speedmaster and the Seamaster, even though this watch is technically part of the Seamaster family. So it comes with 150 meters of water resistance, very respectable. It comes with a screw down caseback, that's a display caseback showcasing the movement, and it also comes with a screw down crown at the 3 o'clock position. The dial is really where this watch shines, so we have that printed dial with Arabic 12, 3, 6, and 9. The Arabic numeral for 6 is missing on the sub-seconds version because that's where the second sub-dial is housed, and it is slightly recessed, which creates this really nice effect. Now, I noticed that they didn't go with the concentric circles in this sub-dial, which is sort of unique. Usually you will find companies go for the concentric circles. Omega chose not to, and in general, these dials have this sort of grainy finish that works really well. Now, I'm not sure if they applied a different amount of air coating to these new models as opposed to the Aquaterras, but I can tell you from experience looking at the two watches side by side, I'm talking about the Railmaster and the Aquaterra, the Railmaster is much easier to read in different lighting conditions and from different angles. Whether it's the sharpness of the dial itself, or whether it's the air coating on the crystal, or the combination of the two, I don't know what it is, but these watches are more legible, which again sort of speaks to their sporty nature as opposed to the more dress watch-like nature of the Aquaterra. A lot of people prefer watches with a date complication. Historically speaking, Railmaster never had a date complication, and this new updated version carries that tradition. I like the fact that it doesn't have a date complication. I think it makes the dial look more clean and symmetrical. Out of the two gradient versions, the gray one or the brown one, from the press releases, I like the Central Seconds hand one, the gray one more. However, seeing them in person, I don't know what it is, I like the brown one more. I think it has a little bit more charm, it's a little bit more sort of warm, and it stands out from other watches in Omega's catalog. Other than the fact that one of them features a sub-seconds hand and the other one features a Central Seconds hand, there are very few differences between the two dials. They're both printed, they both feature minimal writing. The word Railmaster has been moved from that 6 o'clock position closer to the logo on the sub-seconds hand version, because that's of course the real estate that's been taken up by the sub-dial. And also this version features a bit of that faux patina. I know a lot of people don't like that faux patina look, including myself, but for whatever reason, I think on this watch it works. This watch is available on both the leather strap or the stainless steel bracelet. The leather strap is great. We've seen these leather straps on so many different watches. It also features this engineered fold over clasp, which I'm a big fan of because it hides the excess strap when you close it, so you don't need the extra loops. I think more watches should include clasps like that on their leather strap or rubber strap watches. As far as the stainless steel bracelet goes, it's a very similar bracelet to the Aquaterra. It has this almost like Rolex President-esque design language with these rounded links and a polished center link. It's a very comfortable bracelet to wear with a butterfly clasp. However, this one does feature the 5mm adjustment, so you can get that perfect fit on your wrist. Omega really knows how to put a good bracelet together. Very few people, generally speaking, complain about these bracelets, and I tend to agree. I really like how these bracelets look and feel, and the overall design that Omega is going for. The one thing that I will note, the lug opening is 19mm, which is not fantastic because these watches are supposed to be go anywhere, do anything type timepieces, and having a 19mm lug opening is not the most user-friendly because how many of us just have a 19mm NATO strap or a rubber strap or a leather strap lying around the house? You have to go out and buy these straps specifically. Nowadays they're more available, but it is a bit of a negative. Why not make that 20mm and then it becomes a much more user-friendly watch? Here's the watch on my 7.5 inches wrist. I think it looks great. I really like the fit of this one. I think this watch wears true to its size. It's a pretty short lug to lug distance, so this one should be pretty comfortable on majority of wrists, even if you have a bit of a smaller wrist. I think it wears slightly smaller than the Rolex Explorer 39mm version. I think that's the watch that a lot of people would be comparing this watch to. I happen to own the 39mm Explorer, and I can tell you that the Explorer wears larger than this. So if you tried on the Explorer and it felt too large for you, I think this will be right at home. The case height is a little bit on the thicker side for the time-only watch. If we're being honest, I think they could have made this watch under 12mm quite easily, maybe even 11.5mm, especially on the sub-seconds hand one, because of course the advantage of sub-seconds hands are the fact that you can have watches thinner. But of course, because they all come in the same cases, in even the same cases as the Aquaterra, that's why the case height had to stay where it is. This watch is powered by the 8800 caliber movement, the 8806 for the sub-seconds hand version, and the 8804 for the central seconds hand version. They're both MATAS certified. They both feature 35 joules. They have a beat rate of 3.5 Hz and about 60 hours of power reserve. Now, this watch, historically speaking, is supposed to be sort of the Milgauss equivalent. It's supposed to have crazy anti-magnetic properties, and this new version doesn't disappoint. It's anti-magnetic up to 15,000 Gauss, just like a lot of other MATAS certified watches in the Omega's catalog. This one is of course also the coaxial, so it has a bit of a better wear on the components, which means that you have longer intervals between services. I think it's one of these watches that you really have to try on, have to sort of play around with to get a feel for. The pictures on the internet, I don't think do it justice. Now, could they have made this case maybe 39mm and about 11.5mm in case height? Yes, they could have, but at the moment we have what we have. Of course, companies have to make money, so I understand why they're using the same cases for a lot of different lines of watches. Now, what I hope for is that Omega uses this new release as sort of a baseline and builds on it and gives us more different dial variations, more different case variations, and more innovation in the future. I hope that this new line doesn't get discontinued like it did in the past. It just kind of stays in the Omega's catalog and they build on it in the future. I appreciate you watching this review all the way until the end. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos like this in the future, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this Omega Railmaster. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Which out of the two versions you prefer? I always enjoy reading your comments. By the way, a huge thank you to the Omega Boutique here in Vancouver. These guys are great. They have an amazing selection of watches and fantastic staff. So if you're in the area, stop by. Thanks for watching this video all the way until the end, and we'll see you next time.